Most of you guys right now, you're destroying yourself. You're shooting yourself in the foot. Maybe you're self-sabotaging, and you have no idea why. You're like getting yourself in all these terrible situations. You aren't doing what needs to be done in order to go after what you want, and ultimately just giving into pleasure and setting yourself back for failure. So in this video, I'll be walking you through like what even causes that in the first place, and then walking you through how to channel what causes that into causing greatness and success instead of the controversial failure that you're experiencing right now. So first off, the reason why we even do that as men, we destroy ourselves, shoot ourselves in the foot, and have a war in our heads is because we do have like a war instilled mindset inside of our brains, inside of our DNA. It's been with us since the dawn of humanity. We've always wanted to kill, destroy, fight, and do things and get out there in the world and conquer. But now in this day and age, we're more like complacent creatures. All we do is eat, sleep, fuck, go to work, and just have enough to eat and for entertainment. And that's not how it was meant to be. We were meant to be able to go out there and get what we wanted and to move things around in the world in order to mold our reality to make it take the shape that we want it to take. But most people, they don't do that anymore. They just settle for the entertainment. They distract themselves from the lives that truly suck, and they want to just escape their lives as much as possible. And that's why we start destroying ourselves, because we're going against what we were truly made to do. And that was to go after what we truly wanted. So when you're not going after what you truly wanted, you're not listening to that inner calling from within, that you're not doing what needs to be done in order to go after your goals, your dreams, and you're just settling for mediocrity and complacency, then you're ultimately going to start shooting yourself in the foot. You're going to start destroying yourself, and that's exactly what I was doing. And the reason we do that is because we have a warlike mentality, like I was talking about earlier. And if we're not using that mentality and that instilled DNA in the right way, we're going to be using it the wrong way and start destroying ourselves and start having a war that we create in our minds. And that's exactly why people get into addictions with like alcohol, drugs, porn, junk food. That's why all of those things are there, because we want to have this war, this big fight in our lives to make our lives actually exciting and enjoyable. But when that's not the case, you're making things a lot harder on yourself, because nothing's hard in the real world. So you're making your life hard when actually it's just very easy, complacent, and 99% of people are doing it. So in order to start living the life of going after what you want and channeling this war mindset instead of destroying yourself into actually destroying your goals and to mold reality to the way of your liking, it just takes first knowing that what you're doing right now, the energy that you're channeling into destroying yourself, eating, jerking off, not doing anything at all, you're just playing video games or something like that, you need to figure out a way to channel that energy into actually going after fighting in the world and creating the reality of your dreams, because that's exactly what I did for myself. I went from jerking off, playing video games, eating whatever I wanted, smoking weed, partying. I used all of that energy into actually creating the life of my dreams with remote sales, being able to make $20,000 a month in the world, being able to go where I wanted to go, whenever I wanted to go there, and surrounding myself with the right people. And it just took surrounding myself with the right people that were already using their mindset in the right way and creating the life that they actually wanted. So first off, you need to like cut out the vices, the video games, the porn, the junk food. Cut all of those out, and don't just cut them out. That's what I used to think was like the main problem, was just cutting them out and doing nothing at all. That's not going to help, because you have nothing else going for you. So you're going to go right back to the vices. What you need to do is you need to cut out these vices and then replace them with virtuous acts that are able to move the needle forward to where you want to go. So you don't just cut off these vices, you need to cut them off and replace them with the right things you need to do, because if not, you're just going to go right back to them. Because all life is, guys, it's input equals output. And if you're doing the wrong inputs, if you're jerking off, playing video games, smoking weed, how do you expect to get anywhere in life? You're going to be stuck in that exact same hamster wheel for your entire life until you decide, okay, well, I'm doing the wrong inputs. They're not getting me anywhere in life. I'm going to be stuck here for my entire life until I decide to change these inputs to change your output. So with your inputs, it's literally like a plug and play system Find out what inputs you're doing right now. You need to look yourself in the mirror, see what inputs you're doing right now, and be completely honest with yourself. And then write these inputs down. And then from there, see which ones are beneficial, which ones are not beneficial, which ones are actually destroying you, and cut them out. And then find new inputs that you can do, either read, learn how to operate in a business, learn a certain skill. For me, it was sales. And then channel those inputs, replace the bad ones with the good ones, and then you'll be on the right path. And then all it takes is just channeling that warlike mentality, that DNA that's instilled in you, to carry you through the hard times, through the disciplines, through all these actions, so that way you can ultimately get to where you want to go a lot quicker. And guys, when you're changing these inputs, when you're putting in the right actions, the next important thing I'm going to tell you guys is you need to surround yourself with the people doing the right inputs as well. Because if you're surrounding yourself with people who are all doing the wrong inputs, or drinking, partying, doing all that stuff, then it's very likely, if you're surrounded by these people, that you're going to fall right back into their inputs as well, because that's all your reality is. So you need to find people that are doing the inputs that you desire to do for yourself to get you to where you want to go, and then position yourself within these people, so that way that eventually becomes your reality as well. Because for me, back home in the United States, when I was surrounded by people who were just playing video games, doing all that stuff I was talking about earlier, that was my reality. That was all I had going for me, because that's what everyone else was doing. But when I came out here to Bangkok, Thailand, and I was surrounded by people making money online with crypto, day trading, e-commerce, remote sales, making money online, that's eventually what became my reality, because that's all I was surrounded by. So that's the exact same thing for you. Look very closely on who's in your circle right now, what your environment is entailed, like who's actually surrounded you, and what their inputs are as well. So that way you can see if their inputs are helping you get you to your goals, and if they're not, you don't have to cut them out, but you need to kind of go down your own path. You don't have to follow everyone else and do what they're doing. That's called conformism. You need to find out what inputs you truly want that help you go down the path to where you want to go, and then find out if their inputs are holding you back from getting to that place. And if they are, just go down your own path. You don't have to cut them out, but you do have to cut some people out, unfortunately. I had to cut some people off because they kept saying, Ryan, you're such a loser. You're going out to Bangkok with $1,500. You're going to fail. You're going to ultimately go back to the university, the 9 to 5. You're never going to make it. Just cut those people off. Cut off all the negativity and surround yourself with positivity. And then you'll see your life is going to transform. You're going to see what it truly means to go out there in the world and create the war that you truly enjoy, instead of having that war in yourself where you're just destroying yourself and you're ultimately going to fail. And you might not have any discipline right now, but the thing is, guys, discipline is not a real thing. All discipline is momentum. So whenever you write down these desired inputs that you need in order to get that desired output that you want, first you're going to need to do them even when you don't want to, when it's hard, when it's uncomfortable. But the thing is, you need to start being comfortable, becoming uncomfortable, so that way whenever you start doing these inputs, that's when you'll start to see the discipline and motivation later on. Because all motivation and discipline is momentum. So the more you do the hard stuff that you don't want to do, a few weeks, a few months after doing the stuff that you don't want to do, you start to enjoy doing the things that you used to not even enjoy in the first place. And that's when the motivation kicks in. That's when the discipline will pick you up when things get hard, when obstacles come up on the path towards where you want to go. That's when the discipline, the motivation, that's when it will kick in. Not when you first start. It'll come later on, after you've already done the hard stuff for a long enough period of time. And I've seen that from firsthand experience, coming out here to Bangkok, Thailand with $1,500. I mean, of course, it was very hard the first few weeks, the first few months, especially after landing my first setting role. It was very hard. I was staying up from 6 p.m. until 6 a.m. in the morning, and that was very hard to do. I was dialing, texting, emailing, setting up leads for the closer, and I didn't really enjoy it at first. But after I started seeing the money coming in, I started enjoying calling and helping people change their lives. That's when the motivation, the discipline kicked in, and I did it every single day until I was able to scale up to $20,000 a month. So that's exactly what you guys need to do. Whatever path you're going down, whatever business, whatever work you're doing right now, it will be hard. It will be difficult. You will probably hate it at first. But the reason you'll separate yourself from 99% of people in the world is because you'll start loving what most people hate to do. And that's the hard work that it takes in order to get to where you want to go in life. So hopefully you guys get the point of the video. I mean, it's just all reality is input equals output. And the more right inputs you do, the better the output becomes. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna enjoy this tanning session here in Bangkok. And let me show you guys the view real quick. It's quite spectacular. So over here, we have the city with some beautiful flowers, the greenery, the grounding on the rooftop. I don't know if it counts as grounding because it's technically not on the ground. But look at this, guys. This is the desired output I wanted for over 2 years. And now that I finally have it, looking back, all it took was having the right inputs and doing it for a long enough period of time, thus having the reality I wanted. So guys, the formula for you guys, if you want to get to where I am or to where you want to go, it's a very simple formula. It's time plus consistency plus intensity. So if you do enough actions, the right actions for a long enough period of time with the intensity that comes from the war kind of DNA from within, and enough time, then you'll easily get to where you want to go. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. It's been a pleasure, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.